You ever like just be sitting back, think about some crazy shit that happened to you? You know what I mean? Just be, sitting back by yourself, remembering some crazy shit. You know what I mean? But, I was thinking about this one time where I was in Philly. I was still living in Philly at that time and shit. You know what I mean? But I was just coming from my man's crib, my homie Miz and shit. You know what I mean? That was my dog. You know what I mean? We've been friends since the 6th grade and shit. I mean, what up, Miz? You know what I mean? Dead Mike. You know what I mean? But I was hanging with Miz and shit. I mean, we was at his people's crib on Hunting Park Avenue and shit. You know what I mean? And I was you know what I mean, leaving out of there. I was catching the bus. You know what I mean? Waiting for the bus and shit. You know what I mean? And I was standing at the bus stop. You know what I mean? And like the bus stop, it was plus it was cold as shit that night too. You know what I mean? Like I had on my little jacket, my little Scully and shit. You know what I mean? And at the bus stop, it got like a little booth or something, like a little metal John or whatever. You could go in and sit down on the bench or whatever and shit, you know what I mean? So I was standing in that John and shit, like the block from the wind and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Standing in that John and shit, you know what I mean? And like the glass of it, you know what I mean? It was like a plastic glass, like a thick plastic glass, where like it used to be able, like you could see through it and shit. But like, over the years, niggas tagging and scraping and burning and, you know what I'm saying, all that kind of shit. So like the glass is fucked up. So like you can't see through none of the glass of the shit, you know what I'm saying? So like you gotta like, you know what I'm saying, like look out the motherfucker, you know what I mean, like to see if the bus coming or whatever, ride upon, you know what I mean, whatever like that. So, I'm standing there in the John and shit, you know what I mean, waiting on the bus. And these two dudes and shit, you know what I'm saying, was across the street and shit. And they was coming across the street, you know what I'm saying, and I'm thinking, they waiting on the bus too and shit, you know what I mean? And fucking, they coming across the street and shit, and they get to the corner. And then you got to turn, you know what I mean, well, for them it would have been a right, but then they turn left, you know what I'm saying, in front of me, you know what I'm saying, like that, and then come into the little bus joint and shit or whatever, you know what I'm saying. So when they turn like that, remember, you can't see through the glass and shit, you know what I mean, so like when they walk in, they get out of sight for a second, and then they come back in sight, you know what I'm saying, when they're in front of the door, and then it's a middle part of the little booth joint, and then another door and shit, you know what I'm saying, like that and shit. So when they walking past, remember, it was two of them and shit, you know what I'm saying? So when they walking past, I look and I notice, I see that it's only one of them and shit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, what? I'm thinking to myself and shit, like, damn, where the other dude go and shit, you know what I mean? And the one boy, he keep walking, and he come into the John, you know what I'm saying, into the other side of the door, you know what I'm saying, coming to the John and shit, you know what I mean, and standing and shit. And like when he come in, you know what I mean, like I wasn't sitting down in the John because it was mad cold, and the bench is metal and shit, you know what I mean, I ain't sit on that shit. So I was standing up, like kind of in the middle and shit, you know what I mean. And when he came in, like he didn't like, you know what I mean, most niggas that come in or like maybe go to the corner, chill, light up a cigarette or something like that, or say something about the bus or whatever. But like when he came in, and like just faced me and shit, you know what I'm saying, like on some, you know what I'm saying, like that and shit, and I'm looking like, oh, hold up, you know what I'm saying, I don't know this nigga, you know what I'm saying. And then I remember I was thinking like, damn, where the other boy going shit. I like look behind, and the other boy standing behind me and shit, you know what I'm saying. So I'm like, oh shit, what the, hold on, you know what I mean. I'm looking like, hold on, I don't know this nigga, you know what I'm saying. I don't recognize him and shit, you know what I mean. And he like, so he coming up closer and shit, you know what I mean. So I'm like, oh, I know what this is, you know what I'm saying. So, and plus, I don't know what like type of robber boys they was and shit. I mean, if they was really experienced in the rob game or whatever and shit. But the boy that was like facing me, like the front boy and shit, you know what I'm saying. His first move and shit, you know what I mean. Like when he came up and shit, his first move, he reached around, you know what I'm saying, like with his right arm, he reached around in the back of me and like reached in my back pocket, you know what I'm saying, like on some shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So like when he reached in close and shit, you know what I'm saying, like in my back pocket, I just like stole him and shit, you know what I'm saying, like, bah, bah, you know what I'm saying? So we start like going in, you know what I mean, going at it and shit, but he like around my, you know what I mean, around my waist and shit, you know what I mean? So his friend and shit like jump on my back and shit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like elbowing him, you know what I'm saying? Like you know, we tussling around in the joint and shit, and we like slam into the corner and shit, you know what I mean? Like his friend on my back, sandwiched against the wall, and then me, and then the ball on top of me and shit, you know what I mean? Like boom, like that and shit. So we wrestling around, and the ball that's like on like the front part and shit, whatever, he snatched my scully off and shit, you know what I mean? I don't know why, but the nigga just snatched my scully off and shit, you know what I mean? Took my shit. So we, you know what I mean, tussling around, wrestling and shit, and I'm elbowing his friend and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, boom, boom, boom. And the ball, when he snatched my hat, like he swung around too, and like started going out that door, you know what I mean? Like that first door of the little bus joint and shit, like started going out that way and shit. And I'm elbowing his friend, and he like was getting up, like they was trying to run and shit, you know what I mean? Like trying to get away or whatever and shit, you know what I mean? I guess cut their losses or whatever and shit. But he the one boy, you know, he backing up like starting to run, and his friend, you know what I mean, like trying to get away, and he had on like a thick leather jacket, you know what I mean, like one of them orange thick leather jackets and shit, you know what I mean, and he was trying to get away, and I had his jacket, you know what I'm saying, and I was trying to hold his jacket, you know what I'm saying, but like my like I don't know why I hadn't cut my nails and shit, but like I was bending my nail, you know you grabbing some shit and bend your nails back and shit, you know what I mean? So I was bending my nails back on his jaw, and I couldn't hold it and shit, you know what I mean? I was trying to hold him, but then, you know what I'm saying, I started hearing like all these footsteps and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, all these footsteps, and I hear like, hold him, Jay, hold him, Jay, hold him, Jay, and I look, and it's Miz and all his peoples and shit, you know what I mean? Because, I mean, where the bus stop was, they crib was like not like right across the street, I mean, because like Hunting Park Ave, it's like a big, like, you know what I mean, maybe not a 4-lane highway, but it's a pretty big street, you know what I mean? And it's that street, and then it's like another street intersects it with another street, you know what I'm saying? It's like kind of a ways away, but it's like almost right there, you know what I'm saying? And I hear him like, hold him, Jay, hold him, Jay, hold him. And I look, and it's, you know what I mean? So they all running up and shit, and the boys, he really trying to get me off now. So, you know, like hitting my hands and shit, you know what I'm saying? And he hit my hands, you know what I'm saying? Like got him loose and shit, and they took off running, and we was chasing them and shit, you know what I'm saying? And fucking, they ran, I mean, it was like a car, like waiting for him, you know what I'm saying? Like around the corner and shit, it was like some black celebrity, it was all tinted out and all that shit, you know what I mean? And they ran up real quick and dove in the back seat, you know what I'm saying? And when they dove in the back seat, they closed the door, and they stood there for a second and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like the windows was up for a second, and they was in there chilling, you know what I mean? Like they ain't peel off or nothing and shit. So I was thinking like, damn, these niggas might be loading up and shit, you know what I mean? About to start popping or some shit, you know what I mean? Because you don't know what they got in the car, you know what I mean? The boy might have been waiting there with the Uzi or something and shit, you know what I mean? So we all stopped running and shit, you know what I mean? And then it was crazy too. Like, I mean, that night was especially crazy too, because my homie G, you know what I mean, this nigga, he usually always had a hammer on him and shit. Like, he usually, I mean, that nigga, he usually always had a hammer on him. But for some reason, he didn't have it that night and shit, you know what I mean? So I was thinking, like, damn, if they did start popping, we couldn't even, I mean, well, anybody, I mean, I ain't handle it, you know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Because nobody had shot back or whatever and shit. I mean, then I was thinking it was probably lucky for them niggas because, gee, he liked to shoot anyway. You know what I mean? He might have just started really shooting at them because they was sitting there. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It was better both ways and shit. You know what I mean? That nothing did pop off and shit. You know what I mean? But fucking, they stood there for a second and shit. You know what I'm saying? We was all like right there, like thinking, you know, like you know, anticipating what's about to happen. Like, are they gonna shoot? Are they gonna get out and fight? Are they gonna, you know what I'm saying? Something like that and shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, getting ready to see what's gonna happen and shit, you know what I mean? But they just peeled off and shit, you know what I'm saying? And fucking rode off and shit, you know what I mean? And all of us was standing there and shit, you know, talking about that shit. And Miz, he was like, yo, man, we was all on the porch, man, and I heard like this loud ass slam and shit, you know what I'm saying? And I looked over there, yo, I seen y'all was tussling and shit, you know what I mean? So I fucking killed, yo, man, I was like, yo, that shit was crazy, man, yo, the cavalry, nigga, came running and shit, you know what I mean? I was like, oh, man. Yeah, that shit was crazy, you know what I mean? But fucking, you know what I mean? After that, you know what I mean? You know, we all said our goodbyes, laughed about it, you know what I mean? The niggas, you know what I mean, stood at the bus stop and shit with me and shit, you know what I mean? And, you know, we all got on, I got on the bus and shit, went home and shit. But as I was going home, you know what I mean? I'm thinking like, damn, you know, nigga snatched my scully and shit, you know what I mean? It's cold as shit, I ain't got no hat on no more and shit, you know what I mean? And then, also, like in the fray or whatever and shit, when we was wrestling around, like when the boy was trying to get me off his jacket, like I was falling down, and like I scraped these jeans I had and shit. I put a hole in the jeans and shit, but the thing was, the jeans wasn't even mine. It was my brother's jeans and shit, you know what I mean? So he was like, oh man, you messed my jeans up, man. Damn, what the fuck? I was like, damn, I almost got robbed and killed. Man, fuck that, man, my jeans, man. Look at this shit, man. You know how much I pay for them, you know what I mean? Like, damn, man. Come on, man. I mean, but yeah, that shit was crazy though. But yeah, that was just one of them times though.